Showtime.
I hear you, sir.
Yeah, good. Good evening, everyone, from everywhere you are joining us from. Welcome to this webinar. See,
thank you, sir.
The privilege to have this, please. And if you have any technical issue, you can use the WhatsApp message so that we can always get back to you and see how we can resolve it. AYODEJI, Fortune of DFORTUNE Pest-Solutions, convener of Pest Control Forum.
Hello, sir.
We are glad to have all of you here this evening. It's a great privilege and honor for us to have you. And I know you are all doing great wherever you are.
I know. I said, is this smelling?
So we may kindly, I know some of us maybe on the road, mute your mic.
I forgot to tell you, or I didn't tell you that they should open the windows for cross ventilation. Have they opened the windows?
Okay, fine. I've muted everyone now so that there's less distraction. So once again, I welcome you to this awesome evening where we're going to be sharing knowledge. We are going to make it as interactive. And we have an arrowhead this evening, the professor, ready to unleash. You see, there's something about knowledge sharing. This industry is a knowledge-based industry. And that is, like Prof said something, he said, the knowledge extent where you will get to. So we need to always keep ourselves updated, abreast with latest trend, development, new things. And like we always say, nobody knows it all. We always try to ensure we learn from one another, we get the best from one another. So if so, we copy good things. So if you see somebody, a colleague of yours do something good somewhere, don't be shy, your brother, copy, tag along. In the global world, nobody's shy. When Google is doing something, Facebook tag along, Instagram, everybody just wants to do something, you know. So we are going to be learning from one another. Yes, we have a facilitator, but I encourage you to have an open mind this evening. Ask your questions, make your contribution when the floor is open for you to make your contribution. Let's make this webinar as, please ensure your mic is always muted so that it's only when you are allowed to make contribution that you want to put on your mic, so that we don't have a lot of echoing and interference of sound, so that we can enjoy a sound training evening. You know, I'm very optimistic that a lot of people are going to be logging in. Yes, it's 7 p.m. here in Nigeria. In Lagos, particularly, it's a busy time for a lot of people. But I know quite a number of people will still be on the road, but be rest assured that we're going to have a great time tonight. Quite a number of people are going to be joining us. And go to your network, tell your colleagues, even as you are logging, send them a message. It is time, it is show time. Get them to log in. Send them the login details. Send it far and wide. Let us share this knowledge. Let this knowledge, just share it with all your professional colleagues on every platform you are, any WhatsApp group, Telegram group, social media group. Share it to a friend that is doing cleaning, that is doing pest control, that is doing facility management. Share it today. It's free webinar, brother. So share. A lot of people are aware, but you see, they may just be caught along with a lot of activities like that. You may even have to call somebody. Oh, it is time. It is time. Get somebody, send a message to somebody, get everybody. In fact, you can get your staff. Some of your managers, get them to log in with you so that they can gain the same knowledge you are gaining and improve and get better on a game together. Prof, good to see you. Prof, I'm trying to see, he was the second person that logged into this place, you know, he's very loaded. I see everybody. Yeah, welcome everyone. I think we should just give the Prof another place. I think it must have been, I believe he's going to log in shortly. So while we are, these first 10 minutes, let's just quickly use it to get everybody to log into this meeting. Publicize it on all your groups, sensitize people. Let's get this, the attendance, let's push the attendance up. Let's push it up. Let's push the attendance up. Let's push it up. Let's push it up. Yeah, let's push it up. Let's speed it up. Publish it, send it on every WhatsApp group, sensitize people, call a friend, call a colleague. Let us log into this training. I'm particularly looking forward to this. And this is a trendsetter in the industry, because we deal with chemical, even though we talk about IPM, but as the case is in Nigeria today, most of the things we still do is still pesticide application. IPM level in Nigerian industry as it is today is still at the infant level. In fact, globally, IPM is still at infant level. So that, and since we deal with chemical, it is very important for us to understand what chemical, how this chemical works, the natures of this chemical, the best way to apply them, the mixing ratio, several things. Knowledge of pesticide is very key. It's the fulcrum of our industry. When you hear fumigation to a layman, what they are hearing in their mind is chemical fumigation. So pesticide knowledge is key, is pivotal to this industry. So we can never say we know it all. We can never say we know it all. We must always be willing to gain new knowledge. New product comes out every day. You'll be amazed. New products, new formulations, new development globally. So it is important for us to always be abreast of it. And not even about you may have the product, and don't even know how to apply it, or the way to apply it, or the manner to apply it. That is why this training tonight is very essential for professionals all over to join. I know we are going to have a lot of people join us tonight. The number is already increasing up to 30. So be expectant. It's going to be, I'm excited, I'm excited. So I want, first and foremost, I know, okay, Prof is in now. Prof is in now.
Yes, I mean,
so I'm going to make him the co-host of this meeting. Then I will, start. Everyone, we're going to do an opening prayer, because at the close of the meeting, we just get to forget ourselves. I'm like, hey, so just go with me. Let us pray. Father, we thank you for this opportunity to have this training. We thank you for the privilege you've given unto us to be able to organize this at such a time as this. Even as we have organized this, oh God, we pray that knowledge is imparted to our spirit, and this knowledge that we are going to gain tonight, we are going to make use of it. It will improve our industry. It will improve our services. It will improve everything about pest control industry in Nigeria, in Africa, and the world at large. We are raising the dike of the industry. Father, we pray that we gain knowledge. As we have interactive session this evening, your wisdom is manifested in us. In Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. And the technical, everything will be smooth and perfect in the name of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
The Prof, over to you. We are ready to download. We plug all our devices into your system, from your head to your heart to your mouth, everything. We are just downloading everything right away. So we have our writing materials here. I'm going to be making sure I'm taking my notes. So we are going to be downloading everything. So the mic to you. The Prof, Mr. PCO Chux Nwosu. Good to have you, and we are grateful for having you for this awesome session. And you'll be amazed the number of people. The expectation for this meeting is huge. Before you close, you see the number will have risen steady. So, I can imagine. God bless you. Have a blessed time as we listen and learn from you. God bless you.
Yeah.
Enjoy, everyone.
I'm working with 2 devices. Yeah. There's this FGF that you will see on the screen. I'm sure you're seeing it. I will be sharing some screens from there. So you can allow me share from there too. Can you hear me, DFORTUNE? Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. I've made you co-host on all the 2 login gadgets.
Beautiful.
I've made you
2, right? With FGF 2. Nice. Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here speaking to you from this end. This is what I always love to do, and the pleasure that I'm being given this opportunity by DFORTUNE. Okay. This is not the first time I'm doing this. I have a WhatsApp forum too, where lots of professionals are regularly stuff like this. Okay, my name is Chux Nwosu once again. The way we are going to be doing this meet this evening is there's going to be some sort of storytelling, And then from there, we're going to learn one or two things. Then we'll begin to dive into the technicalities of things. Then we'll all learn as we go on. Particularly, this webinar will favor a lot of newbies. Yeah, newbies, because newbies are looking for footholds, you know, so that they can establish themselves and all that. It will also benefit people that have been there, the old timers, in one way or the other. Okay, so let me start by a little bit about myself. Okay, so when I finished secondary school, first of all, I'm a media practitioner. I was a media, well, I'm still a media practitioner anyway, but I do the two. I do media and I do pest control, but I started out as a media practitioner. So I run a business that cover events in video, audio, and in print. So I started out as a media practitioner. Now, after secondary school, I gained admission into a school in Imo State. I went there to study accounting. And before I went into the school, my dad lost his job. And I had to fend for myself to pay school fees and to pay my way through school. Now, I started thinking, how do I make money to pay for school? That was when I started pest control, even though as an amateur. What I'm talking about, the year I'm talking about is, that should be 95, yeah, 1995. That was when I started pest control as an amateur. And I started it just so that I can make money to be able to fend for myself in school. All right, so how did I venture into that? So there in Imo State, in the area where I schooled in Owerri, they had a huge problem of termites. So a lot of homes, a lot of churches in that area had issues with termites. Termite infestation was, you know, the order of the day then. And they used to call professionals, as it were, to deal with the issues for them. But at the end of the day, the professionals, in quotes, never solved the problem. In fact, they even compounded the situations for the clients that called them. So I started thinking to myself, if I venture into this arena, there will be a lot of money for me to make so that I can pay my way through school, even help my siblings in Lagos. So I started putting one and one together, and that led me into research for solution to termites. Now, it happened that the people that have been trying to solve these problems for these people that call themselves professionals, they've been attacking the problem the wrong way. So what I did was I went to the internet. Then we used to go to cyber cafe, you know, to do internet. We didn't have internet as we have it now. I'm going somewhere with this story. Please bear with me, follow through as I download, you know, my experience. So I started researching, and I found out that there were two kinds of termites: the drywood termites and then the subterranean termites. The major issue they had in Owerri then were subterranean termites, not even drywood termites. But the people that have been treating the termite issues were treating drywood. So they would go to the client's house, spray the roof, spray everywhere, thinking that they will solve the problem. So that was how I got into the scenario. And what did I do? I started researching. And my research led me to know that there were different kinds of chemicals we use for termite control. And when you are dealing with subterranean termites, there are chemicals you shouldn't use. We'll get into the technicalities of these things, but follow my story. All right, so my research showed me that if I were to make a living from killing termites for clients in Owerri, I needed to be the best. I needed to be able to solve the problems for these people. And when I'm talking about clients, I'm talking about churches, Anglican churches. There are so many Anglican churches in Oregon. Anglican churches, Catholic churches, and a lot of Orthodox churches. All right, all of them, because they've been there from time immemorial, they have this problem of termites. And the major issue they had were subterranean termites. All right, so my research led me to imidacloprid. So during my research, some people are complaining that they are not hearing me. Am I audible? Please let me know.
Yes, sir, you are audible, so I can hear you, sir.
Yes, I can hear you.
Beautiful.
Yes,
I hope I'm making sense with the story. I'm going somewhere with
absolutely.
it.
Yes,
Absolutely,
please.
you are.
Beautiful. So please meet yourself. So my search for wisdom, for knowledge, led me to identify two kinds of chemicals, two kinds of insecticides for termite control. You know, there are some kinds of insecticides that you shouldn't use for termites if you want to deal with the problem decisively. So there and then I discovered that we have repellent insecticides. I discovered that we have non-repellent insecticides for termites. Now flow with me. If you use repellent insecticides for subterranean termites, you will only be repelling them. Whereas what you need is something that will invite them in to eat whatever it is they are eating, and as they are feeding on those things they are feeding on, they get infected by the non-repellent chemical you place there, and when they go back to their colony, they infect the others, and that's where the domino effect we talk about in termite control comes in. I tell you this, I learned this as far back as 1995. So in Oregon, I became a local champion for termite control. And I was making good money. I was even sending money home to my people. That's how serious it was. Now, mind you, I was still an amateur. The only thing I knew then was termite. Even at that time, it was when I got to know that there's a treatment, the kind of treatment called drill and treat method of termite control, where you use drilling machine to drill concrete floors to pour in your insecticide to kill the subterranean termites on the ground. That was when I learned all that. Now, why am I telling us this story? I'm telling us this story so that we know that the search for knowledge, the search for wisdom is a never-ending one, and it is very important in this our industry. See, I know I don't have patience for people, lazy people that don't want to research and learn and know things for themselves. Okay, so I remember in the Fortune's platform, we were talking about questions, you know, and yes, we agree that people can ask questions to learn, but there are no stupid questions. And if you guys remember, I dropped something. I said, yes, true. There are no stupid questions, but there are questions that make people look stupid. Yeah, I'm telling you. Now, doctors, how many years do they study medicine before they become medical doctors? Who can help me with that? How many years do they study?
5 years in university, 1 year housemanship,
Beautiful.
1 year youth service.
Beautiful. So that makes 7 years, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it a mistake that people that are doing medicine study for that long? It is not. I always tell people that this our job is like somebody that is a doctor or a pharmacist. That's always, as early as 1995, I discovered this, that if I am to make a headway in this industry, I need to see myself as a physician. I need to see myself as a pharmacist. Now, have you ever heard a doctor ask another doctor, my patient is complaining about headache. What can I give him for this headache? Have you ever heard any doctor ask that kind of question? Please, feedback. Hello? Are we together?
We're here.
Beautiful. So I was saying that, does it sound right if a doctor, a medical doctor, a patient walks up to him and says, my head is banging, I have headache, and the doctor picks up his phone to call another doctor to ask, Dr. Lagaja, patient A came to my office for consultation. He has headache. What can he use for headache? Can a doctor ask that kind of question? It's not possible. It's not possible. But if a question comes from a doctor and the doctor says, I've used paracetamol for my patient, I've used aspirin for my patient, and it seems that the headache is not going down. What else can I use? That is a good question that can come from somebody that calls himself a doctor. That way, he's asking for a second opinion. So now, as early as 1995, I told myself that if I am to do this thing, if I am to treat termites, I am supposed to be a reservoir of knowledge concerning termites. No questions about it. And I set out on that journey, and it has brought me here today. Now, I said I started as a media practitioner. Let me tell you something about photographers. I'm a photographer, I'm a videographer, I'm a cinematographer. Days back, I used to cover events. It's just that now old age has caught up with me, even though I'm not too old. But when I get events, I send my boys to cover and come back and I edit. But what am I trying to say? I'm trying to go somewhere with the photography story. Now, the first time I covered a wedding, I had never covered a wedding before then. I'm a self-taught photographer. I learned photography on the internet. So I knew the science of photography, but I didn't know the art. So the first time I went to cover a wedding, it was a flop. I couldn't get people to pose. Just to get people to pose for my photographs was an issue. That wedding, in fact, I don't like telling this story. The wedding flopped on my head, and it was a huge embarrassment. They had to use what they call those photographers that come to crash in to take photographs. There's a name they call them. I can't remember. They had to use one of them because I was at a total loss. I didn't know what to do at that wedding, even though I knew everything that has to do with photography. Photography, what it does is you deal with light and shadows. If you know how to manipulate lighting and you know how to manipulate shadows, you create good pictures. But I knew the science, I never knew the art. Now, pay attention. In everything we do in life, we have science. We have the science of that thing, and then we have the art. In pest control, we have the science, we have the art. Now, as a pest control practitioner, the first thing you need to do is to see yourself as a technician, even before you see yourself as a business owner. See yourself first as a technician. A technician in pest control are those people that go out to do the job. So if you see yourself like that, and you know that you have to go out to satisfy clients, it means that the clients are expecting a lot from you. All right? Today, I went for a job somewhere. It's a restaurant, a newly opened restaurant, but the owner of the restaurant noticed that some things were eating because there are lots of woodwork in the place. Some things were eating the wood, and I was called to come and solve the problem. I came back from there not quite long. Do you know that this client, very intelligent person, knew so much about wood borers? He knew the active ingredient that can be used to deal with the problem. And in fact, he was asking me what I was coming to do for him, what I was going to use, because he knew he has gone to the internet, he has downloaded stuff, so he needed to be sure that I knew what I was doing. So I'm saying this to let us know that the present crop of clients we have now, yeah, are knowledgeable, even more knowledgeable than some of us that call ourselves practitioners. So expect that some clients out there will teach you your job if you are not on your toes. I tell you the truth. This client knows everything about pyrethroids. He knows sapermetrine. He knew that he could use sapermetrine to deal with the issue. But when I came with a better solution. He was telling me about sapermetrine, but I was telling him about a systemic insecticide that is not repellent, which was imidacloprid. But at the time, after we finished our discussion, he saw that my own knowledge was quite more than what he knows. Yes, thank you, Mrs. Buki Shole. We are dealing with knowledgeable clients. And the present crop of clients these days, internet is close to them. So if you refuse to get better, you will be trumped by clients out there and you will be embarrassed like I was in my first wedding that I covered. So I was talking about the science and the art. There's a science to what we do. There's the art to what we do. Now let me digress a little bit. I know we watch movies. We watch action movies. I'm sure we see in movies, action movies, before troops go out, maybe on a rescue mission, there's something they do that they call choreography. They choreograph everything that that's likely to happen on the battlefield they are going to. They do simulations. I'm sure we know what I mean. They do simulations. They create scenarios that are close to the thing that they are going to experience where they are going. All right, so these simulations help them to prepare for what they are going to meet when they get to where they are going. You see the choreography part of the whole thing, that is moving, trying to get themselves to move in unison. You know, their movements, their shots, getting better with their gun. That is the art of their trade. The science part is the knowledge of the whole thing. Now, in pest control, the science of our craft is the knowledge of pesticides, knowledge of equipment, knowledge of the environment. Then the art is knowing what to do with the knowledge we have, knowing how to use equipment, even knowing how to move in a cramped room to spray and all that. That's the art. Now, the science is where you start from. When you know the science, the art will come easy to you. I always tell people, I want to share a screen. I always tell people that we are physicians, we are doctors. And I don't seem to be able to find that screen. But the screen I was looking for is a picture of a doctor in his lab coat and all that, holding a syringe and all that. So we are physicians, we are like doctors. Everything we do has to do with life. Everything we do has to do with that. So we dare not make mistakes in what we do. We need to be good at our game. We need to be better. We need to be getting better every day. We need to be getting better every second. And we need to be at the best of our game. All right, so having said that, let's move into pesticides. Okay, so pesticides. Once we had an argument on the LASEPA WhatsApp forum. I was surprised that people were saying that herbicides are not pesticides. I was so mad. I was like, what crop of pest control operators are these? They were arguing with me on that forum. Some were saying that weeds are not pests. On the LASEPA forum, these are people that have been given certificates to operate as pest control operators. And they were arguing that herbicides are not pesticides. Right, so pesticide is just a common term that characterizes several classes of, insecticides, herbicides, fungicides, rodenticides, wood preservatives, garden chemicals, and household disinfectants. All those things that are used either to kill or protect from pests. Those are pesticides. So if you see weeds, they are unwanted things. So they are pests. So whatever you use to kill weeds, which is herbicide, are pesticides. All right. So insecticides are pesticides. Herbicides are pesticides. Fungicides are pesticides. Rodenticides are pesticides. Even wood preservatives that we use to preserve wood against, some of these wood-eating, whatever, are pesticides. Garden chemicals, household disinfectants, okay, are pesticides. So in talking about pesticides, there are different types of pesticides. We have the ones we call systemic. We have the ones we call ingested, and we have the one we call contact. Now, these things I'm reeling out are my own, because this is what I do. When I study, I put things down in my own way to make me understand things easily and to make me teach easily, because I have a lot of people that are mentor in this pest control thing. So I need to be able to dish it out to them in a very simplified way. So I'm going to be sharing some blueprints for us so that we can get a very good hang of these things we're talking about. So the systemic insecticide, a systemic insecticide is systemic pesticide is any pesticide that is absorbed into a plant and distributed through its tissues that reaches the plant stem, leaves, roots, and any fruit or flowers. So systemic pesticides are water soluble. They move easily throughout the plant as the plant absorbs water and transports water to its tissues. So the pesticide moves inside the plant and is there. And whatever chews on the plant definitely automatically will feed on the pesticide and it will affect it. That's the way systemic insecticide works. And most systemic insecticides too are used for soil. They are introduced into the soil and it gets absorbed by the plant through the roots too. That's the way systemic insecticide works. Right? Okay, so we have ingested. These are the ones that we call stomach poisons. So the pest eats them and they get affected or infected. I call them ingested. Then there are contact. So these are the ones that are like bullets. They aim only at particular target to kill the insect by its application. So when it touches the insect, it affects the insect. So usually household sprays work like contact pesticides as it more directly hits the insect. Now, for you to understand pesticides, you need to know their classifications, all right? Classifications, because pesticides differ a lot in their physical, in their chemical, and identical properties from one class to the other. There are different ways by which we classify pesticides. So we're going to be taking them as much as time allows us, we'll go. So pesticides are classified based on their chemical composition, one. And so in that classification, we have organic and inorganic. I'm going to show us a diagram, if I can. Yeah, I'll show us a diagram that will guide us as a blueprint. So we have pesticides that are classified based on their mode of entry. So mode of entry we are talking about here is how the insecticide gets into the insect, how the pesticide gets into the insect, how they enter into them. So in this kind of classification, we have contact poisons, we have fumigant poisons, we have stomach poisons, and we have systemic poisons, just like we mentioned above. Then we have classification based on pesticide function and the organism that they kill. That's why we have acaricides, we have bactericides, we have fungicides, we have herbicides. So in that way, pesticides are classified based on what they kill. So for the ones that kill fungi, they're called fungicides. For the ones that kill insects, they're called insecticides. For the ones that kill larvae, they are called larvicides. So pesticides can be classified that way too. Now, pesticides can also be classified by their mode of action. We talked about mode of entry before, mode of action, how they act. Okay, so it could be gnat poison. In this classification, we have gnat poisons, we have respiratory poisons, we have protoplasmic poisons, we have general poisons, and we have chitin inhibitors. I'm sure we know what chitin is. Chitin is, that thing that makes up the covering of the insect, the body of the insect. So we have chitin inhibitors. So pesticides can also be classified based on their toxicity. That is how toxic they are. So in this classification, we have extremely toxic, we have moderately toxic, we have highly toxic, we have less toxic, and all these things are coded by colors. So for example, extremely toxic goes with red, and you see a symbol of score. You see score as a sign. When you see score on any pesticide or insecticide, you should know that that insecticide is extremely toxic. For the ones that are moderately toxic, they go by the color blue, and the symbol is like danger sign. For the ones that are highly toxic, they go by the color yellow, and you see the symbol, they write poison, and so on and so forth. Then the less toxic, they go by the color of green. That one, you see the word caution from there. Then pesticides are also classified according to the stage of specificity. It's clocking my mouth. Okay, based on the stage of specificity of the insect or the pest you are dealing with. So we have herbicides, we have pesticides, the ones that deal with pupa. We have the ones that deal with larvae. We have larvicides, we have adulticides, and so on. But for this evening, we are going to be looking at, because we don't have much time, we are going to be looking at the chemical composition of insecticide now under pesticides. Let's try to look at that. And if we have time, we look at all the things. So we're going to look at classification of pesticide based on their chemical composition. This is even the most common and useful method of classifying pesticides, because it's based on the chemical composition and nature of the active ingredient of the pesticide. So it gives us a clue about the efficacy, the physical and chemical properties of the respective pesticide. So the information on the chemical and physical characteristics of the pesticide is very useful in determining the mode of application, the precautions that we need to take while applying it, and so on and so forth. So based on chemical composition, insecticides are classified into four main groups. Well, more than four actually. As we go on, we will see. We have the organochlorines, we have the organophosphates, we have the carbamates, we have the pyrethroids. Then we have the ones we call miscellaneous compounds. That's where we have neonicotinoids and phenylpyrazoles. Okay, we'll be looking at all of them. So now, the chemical composition of insecticides. We have synthetic, and we have the ones that are organic. Synthetic, organic. Then we have some inorganic compounds too that are used as pesticides. Now, let me see whether I can share the diagram I need for us to decipher this thing. Let me try and share from this other screen so that we can see what I'm talking about. Okay. Just a moment. Okay. Can we see this? Can we see this screen? Is it visible enough? Feedback, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay, beautiful.
Yes, it is.
Beautiful. All right, so this is how I This is how I teach the chemical classification of insecticides. I made up this diagram and it has helped me a lot. Started helping me from time immemorial. And lest I forget, somebody is drawing stuff on the screen. Who is that?
There's a possibility that this whatever has been hacked. That's why we're seeing those lines. There is that possibility. We need to check.
I didn't get that.
If someone is drawing lines on the screen, that means someone is trying to hack into it, or someone has hacked into this class.
I don't think so. I think the person is trying to expand the screen and doing all sorts. Okay. So let me just close it and reshare it, because this diagram is going to help a lot in the thing we are talking about. Okay, so it's up again. All right. So by the way, I am an alumni of Rotimax Pest Control Training Academy. And when I tell people that I started professional pest control just 2 years ago, people don't believe me. Okay, so when I went for the training got me very hungry. All right, because you can't get everything you want in one training. It got me very hungry. And I saw that I needed to fortify myself before I entered the field. Then there was this article I saw about this pest control company that challenged me a lot. They are technicians. They train them for 160 hours before they venture into the field. And that told me a lot, that before I go out there to hit problems for people, I need to be proficient in what I'm doing. And I looked at 160 hours. I started breaking it down to what it translates into in when you calculate in days, in months. And I made sure that I fulfilled that 160 hours for myself before I started doing pest control professionally. So that's why I'm challenging all of us too. That's how serious this thing we are doing is. For at that standard, they know seriousness. That's why they make sure that their technicians, go take at least 160 hours of training before they venture out into the field. So let's go back to the diagram. So from the diagram, we can see insecticide. We see the two wings. We have natural, and then we have synthetic. So the natural are plant-based. Under plant-based, we have pyrethrum, we have azadirachtin, we have neem oil. Neem oil is the dogoyaro we know. Dogoyaro, the seed of dogoyaro, the oil from it is an insecticide, but it's under plant-based natural insecticide. We have tea tree oil, then we have nicotine. Nicotine is gotten from tobacco. Those are natural. Then there's this flower. Okay, of course, we know that pyrethrum is from the chrysanthemum flower. What's the name of this flower again? I can't remember, but maybe as we go on, I'll remember. It's under that plant-based natural insecticide. Then for the animal-based, because we have animal-based natural insecticide too, which are marine annelids, grow under the water, the fish oil rosin. I want us to go and, okay, I'm seeing notes from somebody, chrysanthemum flowers are all rest. Yeah, so those are natural insecticide. Then under synthetic, we have inorganic, we have organic, all right? Now, under the inorganic synthetic, we have lead arsenate, sulfur, zinc phosphide, boric acid, all these guys. Boric acid, wonderful for ants and all that. So there's sulfur there. Sulfur, I use sulfur to repel snakes once in a while. Those are under inorganic and all that. So then we have organic under synthetic. Even though they are synthetic, yeah, we call them organic synthetic. Why? Because they are manufactured from organic compounds, and then they added some things to them to make them synthetic. All right. So under that, we have organochlorines, we have organophosphates, we have carbamates, we have pyrethroids, and then we have miscellaneous compounds. Under miscellaneous compounds, we have neonicotinoids, and we have phenylpyrazoles. All right. Now, under organochlorines, we have the almighty DDT, we have the BHC, we have linden, we have aldrin, we have tilden. See, all these things that I mentioned now are no more in use. Most of those ones under organochlorines, they're no more in use. Okay. So yeah, you can read up and know more about them, but I tell you, especially DDT now has been banned. Organophosphates, we have malathion, quinalphos, we have profephos, we have phorate, properiphos, the methotrate, the clovers, we have diazone, and so on and so forth. Then we have under carbamates, we have propoxor, bendiocarb, carbaryl, adicarb, carbofuran, and so on and so forth. And we have the almighty pyrethroid. All right, under pyrethroid, we have deltametrine, cyflotrine, ephedrine, lambda cyhalotrine, permetrine, alpha sapermetrine, yeah, and so on. All the trains come under that family. And under the miscellaneous compounds, we have neonicotinoids. Under neonicotinoids, we have imidacloprid, acetamiprid, thiometoxan, phenylpyrazoles, we have fipronil, we have acetopro, raclophos, tofipro, pyrolan under phenylpyrazoles. See, fipronil falls under phenylpyrazoles. Now, let me tell you something. You know, people used to say that odorless pest control is a new thing that is started not quite long. But I tell you, when I was fighting termites those days, you know, I never knew anything about Bayer. I never knew anything about, you know, all those expensive stuff that we have now. I simply go to the market to buy imidacloprid in EC formulation or liquid solution. Yeah, that's what I use for termite control back then, 1995, 96. Okay, so I buy the chemicals very cheap. I go there, charge them a lot of money, and I deal with the issue for them. And one thing about, you see, this classification now under the organic synthetics now, the miscellaneous compounds, they are the ones that we call non-repellent insecticides, non-repellent. But you see pyrethroids, you see organophosphates, they are very repellent. Carbamates too are non-repellent. So when I say repellent and non-repellent, it's very simple. Repellent insecticides are those insecticides that repel insects while they kill them. But the non-repellent are those ones that allow insects to even wallow in them without them being affected. But at a later time, the thing gets them down. And the reason for the slow acting nature of non-repellent is so that any insect that gets into them can go and infect other insects. That's why they use non-repellent for baits. You know, we have cockroach baits, gel baits. Yeah, imidacloprid is the active ingredient. We have fipronil as active ingredient too. That's the reason why they use those insecticides for baits. Now, I have seen people, they go to do pest control and rodent control at the same time, you know, yeah, spraying and rodent control. They do the two together. And, you know, they enter people's kitchen to spray repellent insecticides inside their kitchen in a bid to kill cockroaches. They go inside, spray organophosphates, they spray pyrethroids, all in the name of killing cockroaches. Why will you go into somebody's kitchen to spray these things? So if you have the knowledge that there are, if you have the knowledge that there are insecticides that you can use that are not repellent, that are not repulsive, you will know it's better to use them. Okay, so you want to deal with rodents in a kitchen or in a house. and you have sprayed the house with your solution, maybe organophosphate, pyrethroid, and all that, then you now drop your bait. How do you expect your bait to be very effective when you have used repellent insecticides in that space? See, there's something I tell people. I tell them baits become distractions when they have some things competing with them. I don't know if I'm making sense. A bait becomes a distraction when there are things competing with that bait in the space. Let me explain. Okay, so I drop a bait for cockroaches, and then at the same time I spray tetramethrine in that space. What am I doing? The tetramethrine I sprayed will compete with that bait such that the cockroach I want to kill will not get to the bait to eat it. Rather, it will run away. So that's exactly what I mean. So you see, there's a science to these things we do. And if we don't understand it, we'll be failing at everything we do. So if you understand that there are repellent insecticides and there are non-repellent, in your treatment for termites, you will know that it is better if you are dealing with subterranean termites. Yes, you either bait or spray. You don't do both at the same time. But there's a way you can do both at the same time. I will tell you how. Now, this product, imidacloprid, if you spray imidacloprid around and you drop bait for cockroaches, it works well. That is what I've come to find out. And the reason is because imidacloprid don't repel. Imidacloprid are gentle. You know, that's what I found out. Inside the kitchen, I want to treat the kitchen now. Under the oven, under the kitchen cabinet and all that, beautiful, or spray low areas and beautiful, ma. Thank you for that. Spray low areas. And if you want to spray even the low areas, according to the chart that Mrs. Buki Shole dropped now, you spray low areas. Even if in spraying the low areas, you don't spray repellent insecticides. You don't at all. Rather, you spray non-repellent insecticides. In dealing with subterranean termites, you don't use repellent insecticides. You don't use, even though chlorpyrifos is very good for termites. But if you want to get to the root of the problem, what you use is non-repellent, the likes of fipronil or imidacloprid, because chlorpyrifos is a repellent insecticide. Or you use carbamate, maybe carbofuran. Carbofuran, yes, you can use that. It's not repellent. That is if you want to get to the root of the problem. So this diagram, I want us to take this diagram. We'll go study, because the way to know these things is take each of these things, go study them, try to understand what each of those insecticides under those families, what they can deal with or what they kill. Then you'll be on your way to having the knowledge that you need to deal with it. Okay, so let's go on. As time we permit us. Now, for natural insecticides, their advantage is that the active ingredients contained in them are natural substances. Yes, there's a question from Mrs. Bukishule. The non-repellent insecticide, quick acting. Is that the question? Let me check. Yeah. Non-repellent insecticide, quick acting. Yes, that is the advantage of non-repellent. They are for knockdown. Yes, that's what they do. They are for, if you want to knock down, if you want to, you know, go in, do Rambo style commando, they are actually for knockdown. Very fast acting. That's one advantage they have. But the disadvantage is that they are not as residual as the non-repellent. And then the target that you want. For example, you want to deal with, you are dealing with termites, and you know that if you don't get to the queen of the colony, you have not solved the problem. If you want to get to the queen, you can't use repellent at all. You can't. It is non-repellent that you use, because with non-repellent, the termites themselves will enter the chemical you have dropped there without even knowing that they enter something. That's the way it works. Even though it is slow acting, but it is sure. It is slow but sure. It's the surest way to get rid of termite colonies. So let's double back a little, look at natural insecticides. So natural insecticide comprised of insecticides of animal origin, like we said, and plant origin. Examples are neem oil and some essential oil, nicotine, proetron, and all that. They are derived strictly from nature with little or no chemical alteration at all. Advantage is that, you know, they are as the active ingredient contained in them are natural substances and not synthetic chemicals, they have smooth degradation pathway in nature after application, and there's less pollution to the environment. I have a friend in US. The only thing they use is natural insecticide. They don't use synthetic, and they've been using natural for years, right? Now, as the botanical insecticides have many insecticidal ingredients with special modes of action, it is difficult for the pest to develop pesticide resistance to them. So pests find it difficult to develop resistance to natural insecticides. You know, but their disadvantages are huge. Most of the compounds of natural products have complex structures and they are difficult to synthesize. And because of that, they are very costly to produce, very costly, expensive to produce. The active ingredients are liable to be decomposed. They are not residual at all. You know, they are not really, they don't stay that long in the atmosphere, you know. Their effects are slow, you know, leads to situations that people will think that the insecticide don't work at all. And they have short residual period, right? So that's a little bit, some blueprint as to insecticide that can guide anybody to be better at, you know, these things we do. And what I tell people is this, like I read in The Art of War by Sun Tzu, that Chinese author. If you know the enemy you are dealing with and you know yourself, you are sure to win the battle. So as pest control operatives, if you know your pesticides, you know the equipment you're using, and you know the environment you are dealing with, the sky will be the limit to be a success at everything you do. So because this is a master class, yeah, I'm not a, how do I put it? I'm going to stop here for tonight. I will stop here for tonight and we'll entertain questions. Yeah, we've done 1 hour already, right? So at this point, let's entertain questions, Mr. DFORTUNE.
Whoa. Incredible session there. Thank you, the prof. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome, sir.
For the deep insights we brought into this class about the and
I'm seeing one hand up already.
we are going to open the mic now for question. Newton, you want to ask a question? Can you unmute your mic and ask a question, Newton?
Mr. Newton, waiting for you.
Can you hear me?
Now, while we wait for him, let me add one or two again. You know, in the treatment of mosquito.
Hello.
Yeah, are you there now, Mr. Newton?
Mr. Newton, are you there?
Engineer Pompey.
Okay, Engineer Pompey, can you unmute your mic and let's hear you?
Yeah,
Okay, Newton is back. Newton is back. Can we hear you?
Good evening.
Yeah, please, Engineer Pompey will come after Newton. Let Newton ask his question, please.
Hello, good evening.
Newton, yeah, you have the floor.
Good evening, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much, presenter. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go on.
We can hear
you, sir. Presenter, I'm very, very delighted with this short presentation. First of all, to just make a clarification, I was the one who inadvertently scratched the screen, and I'm very sorry about that.
It's all right, sir.
Before I could realize, just like you said, I was trying to expand the screen, and I didn't know that I was pressing it. That is first of all. So I apologize to all of you. It is not a hacker. It is a participant like all of us. So be rest assured. From there, what I want to say for the organizers, if you can get this slide or pair the video for us to at least go through again some other time. Thank you very much. Otherwise, it was a very beautiful package. I think this is what we need.
Okay, Mr. Nixie, I see your network is there. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We got you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm done. Thank you.
All right, sir.
Sorry.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Hello, Prof. I have a contribution. I want to say thank you.
Are you hang on so that if Engineer Pompey can ask his question?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, Prof. Happy to hear from you again today.
Thank you, sir.
I
just 1 minute. I'm in it.
Please, can you? Okay, please go on, Engineer Pompey.
Okay, a quick one. From the classifications and all that you just mentioned, which we've gained more. The question goes. My question is that can a plant extract be used in a rodent control?
Plant extract. I don't know
Yes.
of any, sir. I don't know of any. I don't know of any plant extract that can be used for rodents. Rather, you can use inorganic. You can use inorganic compounds like what's that powder now? I'm trying to remember, like zinc phosphide. Yeah, those are inorganic compounds. But for natural plant-based, no, I don't know of any, sir. Did you get that, sir? Pompey?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Somebody was trying to say something there in a contribution. Please go ahead.
Okay. I want us to make this session very interactive. Let's ask as many questions as possible. People, raise your hand. Let us identify you, and you can make your contribution. Let's make this present to talk and ask questions. So please, and what you.
So we have 3 hands up. Newton's hand is still up. Funsho Kolapo and
raise your hand. Don't let us make it rowdy. Let's indicate some meeting. If you have any question, you can just ask. The prof is there. Funsho Kolapo. Okay, Funsho Kolapo will receive Bugishole. Fushokola, can you kindly unmute your mic and ask your question and make your contribution? The floor is yours.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. Thank you very much.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
You are audible.
Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you very much.
Fushokola, are you the one? Okay.
Can you hear? Hello.
We can hear you.
Okay. Thank you for the class. Yeah, Prof was saying something about bait for cockroaches. I want you to.
You're not audible. You're noisy.
Hello.
Funsho, your network is there's a lot of echoing and underground noise.
Okay.
Can you try again?
Okay. What I'm trying to ask is, professors spoke about bait for cockroaches. I want him to enlighten me more about the bait that someone can use for cockroaches, because at the present time, right now, I'm having some challenges with cockroaches in the company. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes. So you want bait you can use for cockroaches. There are many in the market. We have Avion, cockroach gel bait. We have Max Force. Max Force is Bayer. Avion, I think, is Sigenta. Then we have this one from Sniper. The people that produce Sniper. We have Sniper gel bait too. Active ingredient is Piponil. The active ingredients for Max Force and Avion are imidacloprid. Yes, so you can get those and use.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. Okay. More questions, yeah? I'm seeing Oladayo Alao's hand up.
Okay. Madam Bukishole, please, you can kindly unmute yourself and have the floor now. Oh, your hand was up a few minutes ago.
Okay. Yes, actually.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Prof. I actually enjoyed the session, and I just want to confirm one of the things you've said. One thing I took away was the fact that you said non-repellent, we get better results with non-repellent. And I just want to confirm that. For a long time, we were using like pyrethroids for our residential treatment. And it got to a point where we're seeing some resistance. So we decided to switch things up and we moved to a non-repellent. And I think since we started using that particular non-repellent, we've seen very good results. So I just want to encourage everybody, if you can switch to non-repellent. I know the repellents, we seem to get like very fast results. They just kill them, but then we still have issues, So the non-repellent, the one we switched to, has been very good for us. It has worked for us. So I just want to encourage everybody. And just to confirm what Prof said about non-repellent being very good, especially for cockroach control.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Now, to add to that, in mosquito control.
Thank you so much.
Not only mosquito control. Hello?
Yeah, Prof, you have the floor, sir.
Yes, I wanted to add to what Mrs. Shule said. In mosquito control, you see, pyrethroids have been found to be, mosquitoes have been found to be resistant to pyrethroids. I don't know if you know that. Betametrine, sapometrine, and all the rest. A lot of mosquitoes are resistant to them. You know what I do in my mosquito treatment regimen and all that? I mix, what's it called now? But though in EC formulations, I mix pyrethroid sometimes with organophosphate, yeah. Then sometimes with imidacloprid. You understand? Then in bed bug control, pyrethroids have been found. Bed bugs have been found to be resistant to pyrethroids. So I don't even use pyrethroid at all for my bedbug control. I don't. What I do, I use organophosphates instead. So the knowledge of these things are very, very important to us in what we do. Okay, so somebody, there's a question. I said, please, can you confirm the classification of the non-repellent? I said, carbamates are non-repellent. Neonicotinoids are non-repellent. Phenylburazoles are non-repellent. So those three classes: phenylburazoles, neonicotinoids, carbamate. You can go to the diagram to see the to see the active ingredients that fall under those families. Okay. Yeah, back
Thank
to
you.
you.
Please, we need more people to raise their hand. I'll start calling everybody's name. People must say something. People must ask questions. If you don't even have questions, contribute. You've been using some.
Okay. Okay, good evening, everyone.
On the field. What are this live session up to? So the opportunity that we have, let's maximize the few minutes and hours that we have. So what challenge, you've used a product, we're talking about chemicals today. Class you use that you found that have been troublesome, that have not been giving you the result and you want a tweak.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, please. Yeah, go on.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Sir Chux. Thank you very much for this class. So I don't know. I'm just curious. My question is not totally related to this class, but I just thought to bring it up. Having worked with children for a while, I realized that it's quite the norm that when a child gets a cold or gets maybe conjunctivitis or something, somehow because they have to touch and play together, they tend to spread it to one another. So out of curiosity, I just thought, is there something like, I don't know, is maybe because some of these things are also probably viral infections and all, but just out of curiosity, I don't know if there's any solution. Maybe if probably after, of course, what we do is once we realize that a certain child has a cold or we try as much as possible to separate the child, but sometimes that can be a really challenging thing, both for parents. We actually ask parents to come for the child, but that can really be challenging. I mean, parents are at work, there's probably nobody around for the child, and so that can be a challenge. So I was just thinking, I don't know if it's possible or if there's
I'm not sure I can hear you from.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear her. I can hear you, but you see, your question is not related to pests, rather it's related to children, if I understand what you're saying.
Okay, so I'm saying that I've realized that when children are together, they tend to pass maybe cold or say conjunctivitis, that's Apollo, to one another, or even different, just maybe different kinds of maybe viral infections and all. So I just thought to ask, like, is there a possibility that there's probably a solution to maybe when you realize that a certain child had maybe a viral infection or had an infection or something, maybe something for you probably that can be probably used in cleaning the class or spray around the class, maybe to, I don't know, I'm just curious, like I said, to disinfect the area. Thank you very much. To disinfect the area. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Your question is related to disinfection.
Yeah? Yes, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so cleaning professionals, you answer that question. Yeah, Mr. Pumping, you are there.
Engineer Pompey want to come in to respond to that question.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. Please
Okay,
go on.
sir.
Oh, yeah, I have my own question now, but for the lady that just spoken, yes, if we're talking about an environment, cleaning environment, a clean environment does not mean it's neat. A neat environment does not mean it's well cleaned. And when we are talking about children, what we do, because we carry out more of cleaning, like the question I wanted to ask, we have the disinfection and sterilization. They are all under decontamination, but there are two different ways. Disinfection only reduces, while sterilization kills 100%. So under children, it has to be sterilization that has to be applied. That is the best way, because sterilization is a process of killing all microorganisms, while disinfection is just eliminating or reducing the harmful microorganisms. In that is an image object or under the image or surface object. So in what you're just asking, what they need to do is that they should do more sterilization, because they are kids. They touch different things. So they need to apply different sterilization method, and disinfection can also be taken. But that disinfection, that's the question I wanted to ask DFORTUNE itself, because I was ready for him. I wanted to ask him, because he has the product. There's some product that I wanted to ask him.
Thank you very much, sir.
So Mr. DFORTUNE, I don't know if you are ready.
Actually, I was trying to I did not get your last statement before you mentioned my network was, so I was trying to get you clearly to know what.
Okay. What I wanted to ask from you, I'm in Kaduna.
Yes.
I brought your product, the rodent beats.
Okay.
We have it.
Okay.
There's no supply of this product here. It's the one I brought from Lagos that we're using. I don't know why. I don't know if you have any distributor here that can do it in Kaduna. And I wanted to ask, is it your product? Is it a droplet, or we have to apply it in a bait station, sir? Can we drop it and
thank you? That is in respect. Yeah, thank you for this question. In respect to DFORTUNE rodenticide. Okay.
Yes, sir.
In professional environments, base station should be encouraged. Base station is a new thing that is coming into our country, but gradually is getting a foothold, because it should be encouraged generally, but we should rest assured that it is not yet widely acceptable. Somebody that wants to kill a rat in his house, you don't expect to go and buy a base station of 3,000, 4,000, so they can't even understand what you're talking about. But at least in a corporate environment, a food industry, a restaurant, base station is very essential. So, but the product flucomafin can function effectively in base station, can also function effectively in surfaces. In fact, flucomafin is mold resistant, meaning it can stay in a damp environment in the gutter. In fact, it is more effective inside gutter, inside the sewage line, because of flucomafin is very mold resistant. It takes time before it develops mold. That means,
sorry to cut you. Yes. Sorry to cut you. The active ingredient, please.
Is flucomafin 0.005%. That's the active ingredient. So it could actually work, especially outdoor areas that you know that you don't have a lot of pests around. But one of the key advantages of an anticoagulant is every anticoagulant acts an antidote, which is vitamin K as an antidote. So even if your dog peradventure mistakenly feed on it, there's an antidote for flucomafin. But it's it's very legal. It's not something that you should encourage around pets, around chickens, and the likes. Plus, all the necessary precautions that need to be put in place for an average pesticide should be put in place when dealing with flucomafin. Yes, the hazard level is not red. It is caution. It is not red. It is caution. But at the same time, all proper precautionary measures to be put in place. In application, hand glove must be used. In application, it should be put in area that will not interfere with food items, but you can use it without base station. In fact, NAFDAC approved it for such purpose, for indoor, for retail users. So you don't have to have a base station, but especially highly recommended outdoor, where it should be away from children, away from children. So I hope I was able to answer that. And we should look at the next question. Who wants to ask a question now? Bola Adewoye, you have a question? Can you unmute quickly and ask a question? Bola Adewoye.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Yeah.
And thanks to Prof. That was a brilliant presentation. But I have just a little observation on the botanicals. You classified azadirachtin differently from neem oil. Azadirachtin from neem oil, because azadirachtin is the active ingredient in neem oil. Some people already, the Western world already developed azadirachtin, which I'm aware of, but here we still use crude oil in farms, in labs anyway, for stored products and all, and it's been very effective. So I don't know, should we classify them differently? The only difference between azadirachtin and neem oil is the presence of alkaloids in neem oil and other components, but azadirachtin has been solely removed from neem oil. Should we classify them differently? That's my question.
Oh, sorry, I missed your question. Oh, I had a little bit of a challenge. Come again with the question.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, sir. I said on botanicals, you classified azadirachtin differently from neem oil. Azadirachtin is the main component inside neem oil. Your neem oil is the crude oil you get when you do maybe substrate extraction or whatever extraction you do, ethanolic, acetylenic. Azadirachtin has been separated, which is the one that is very effective there. So I'm asking, should we classify them differently? Are they different?
Hello, are you there?
I'm there, I can hear you.
Yeah. You said your observation is that azadirachtin is the active ingredient in neem oil. Was that what you said?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I can't even remember what, because this diagram you are seeing there.
Yeah.
I did a long time ago. I can't remember why I classified them differently. But the fact is that both of them are under plant organic,
chemicals. So okay, just to add, azadirachtin is the component inside neem oil. I'm emphasizing on this because we could have people that want to mix botanicals. So you don't buy azadirachtin differently than buy neem oil. Neem oil and azadirachtin are almost the same thing, just that you have more components inside neem oil. Most of them are not so effective. The one that is effective there is azadirachtin, because the ones I got from the West, most times you have just azadirachtin inside them. But the one that is common here, they sell it as neem oil. I'm just clarifying so that when you want to buy, if you have a component saying azadirachtin, it's fine. Then if it's here and you don't have access to azadirachtin, you can actually buy neem oil.
Okay, thank you very much for that.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
So don't go yard tree in short. So neem oil goes for.
Well, but we have different parts of it. You know, some people use the leaf, some people use the seed and the likes, but I prefer the seed because that's where you have high concentration of azadirachtin. That's if you want to do it in the crude method, in the crude way. So it is very effective so far. even on the fields, but you still have to add some things to it. Then maybe let me just chip in. Then for the imidacloprid and all that, all those neonicotinoids. If you are into field work, you need to be extremely careful with those ones because of their effect on bees or beneficial insect that feeds on nectar. So that's still another aspect, and I'm happy that someone that said that, like Prof really did well, and I was just laughing where I am. So for imidacloprid, all neonicotinoids, please be very careful when you use them in the field. It's fine in the house, in the residential places, office and all, it's fine. But in the field, please be very careful. Thank you.
Yeah, the same applies to retroids too, these, affect these a lot. Okay.
Thank you so very much, Bola. I wish you can tap into more of the knowledge.
Hello, sir. Can I come in a bit?
Okay, that's Benga Dixon, right? Dixon.
Yeah, from Bima Enterprises.
Is that correct?
Yes, very correct,
okay.
Sir. Yeah, well, I just came in. Sorry, I was happy. I needed to hear about neem oil, azadirachtin, and whatever, and then the use on the field. Now, another thing that is very, very important, irrespective of probably you are using the seed, you are using the leaf, you are using the bark, is the method of extraction. The method of extraction is equally very, very important. And that was when we were trying to extract our this thing to use on the field through the leaf, and we were blending it. Why we decided also to research into soaking it. Now the blending seems to be highly effective. So the method of extraction is also important. And while doing that, please let us take note that we should tell people and get people probably who are asthmatic to please stay off. Because while we were doing that extraction, there was an entomologist who was very close to me, and I told her, please, can you shut your door? And she refused. The husband is a medical doctor. And at the end of the day, while we were blending, the odor affected her, and for a whole week, she couldn't come to work. Thank God I understand what she should use. And I told her, and she called the husband, and the husband said, that was the right thing for you to use. And then you refuse to listen to caution. So please, all these things, we must take note. And then by the time we get to the field, highly effective, yet work is still in progress while we're still trying to use it to control the southern armyworm in maize. All these things are good for us. And I think even as pest control managers, we need to look into all these organics, which are very, very and highly effective. We are not condemning the use of sapermetrin, lambda-cyhalothrin, and the likes. But what are their effects even in our soil, their effect in our table water, their effect in our environment? So I think we should start shifting the paradigm shift to probably the use of organics. Yes, which is safer for us. Now, some of the things we have come to discover as far as traveling to Kano, traveling to Yobe, which I have done. Now, what we have discovered is that some of the farmers, right now, what they do is, by the time they want to harvest their pepper, they want to harvest their watermelon. Now, for watermelon in Kano, when they want to water it, they put in their fertigation. The thing becomes big and everything. Then for the pepper, they spray on the field so that the thing does not have any pests. And then after 2-3 days, they bring it into the market. Your pepper is looking, red. And and at the end of the day, people eat it and you discover you are stolen. And this is becoming a whole problem. Right now in my house, I told them nobody must bring in watermelon into this house. I've had cases in the last 2 weeks where people eat watermelon and they've been stolen. And the result is that the fertigation they use down in the north had not gone out of the distance before they harvest. And these are some of the problems we're having. But if we use this organic, sincerely, they are consumable, they don't have that side effect, than all these synthetic chemicals that we are using, that even our farmers are using in high dosage beyond the recommended rate, and it's even causing a whole lot of health problems right now in the country. So that's my little contribution, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Benga. Thank you for this insight. I hope you are on our pest control forum because we want to continue learning from all of us. Mr.
Yes,
Benga, I hope you are there.
I'm there, sir. I'm there.
You guys should be contributing. Bola Adewoye, I hope you're on the platform too. Pest Control Forum.
It's the fortune that just added me to his group. So I'm new. Let me say it. Let me put it that way.
You are sharing it. That platform should be an ongoing learning platform. Are you getting me?
You should add me. You should add me. You should add me.
Please,
I'm
going
I
to,
make...
if you are here and you are not on the platform, on the Pest Control, I'm going to put my phone number at the chat room so that you can chat me up on WhatsApp, and I'm going to give you the login, the invite details so that you can be on the work. We need everybody to bring in their expertise so that we can get better together. Imagine the knowledge that Mr. Dixon gave to us now. Look at the soundness of Bola Adewoye and you know, look at the benefit we've got from the prof. If it's not because he came to the platform, how will we have got such a benefit? You know, so we need a very robust platform that everybody can, like an encyclopedia. Everybody, anything you need is just there, so that nobody go to site and fail. Nobody go to any operation field and fail. You don't have any reason to fail. You have people to tap from. That is the idea. Thank you so very much. So
all right, please, can I just quickly add something, DFORTUNE, please?
Yes.
In response to the last person that talked, I quite really understand his point. But there are times where the use of chemicals are inevitable. There's something we call economic threshold, economic injury level, which is, we can always look at that later. Now, for those that are going to use organic, there's a lot of things that comes to play in these places. I worked on some farms where you have rice farms, and I can tell you, those people who have or who intercropped with nectar-producing plants, for example, shoko, you see that most of them don't have infestation. And even if they do, the predators, beneficial insects, will put all those pests under control, okay? Unlike those that they will wipe all the flowers around them, nothing is, the ecological instability is there. So there is a lot to do when it comes to field pest control. There is so much to do. In some places, they don't even need to use chemical. They need to do restorative, maybe bring in nectar strips and all. So, but for the outsiders, our problem in Nigeria basically is that there is no link between research fields and the farmers. Those farmers are very brilliant, some of them, most of them. But unfortunately, there, you know how corrupt our society is. There is no link so that you exchange your ideas. There are some things I learned outrightly from the farmers that I was not taught in class. So I think that is where the major problem comes from. And that is why they can always pump in their chemicals just few days before harvest. And when you taste these things, especially capsicum, if they don't do it other organic, under greenhouse, some of them at times they taste very bitter, and that is pesticide. So it's a huge problem. I don't know how we can solve it. I just said I should chip in that.
Thank you very much.
With knowledge like this, we keep getting. Okay, Faith Ola, you've been raising your hand. Faith, please. Faith, please. Apologies for holding you for long. Can you please unmute and ask a question?
Okay, that's fine. Good evening, everybody. I would like to thank the organizers of this particular meeting. It's been very, very educating, and I really appreciate that. Well, I'm more of the cleaning industry. I'm a beginner in the pest control. So I have this question. So take for instance, you have to fumigate a space, an entire building, a house now, which is in the midst of bushes. That's in a place where there's still in a developing site, and probably the client is still looking the environment. So what is best to be done in that situation? Because every other space around there is bushes, and this client is more concerned about his own space. So what can be done in that situation? And also, let's take for instance, you have to fumigate against insects, same thing in a let's say semi-detached space or semi-detached apartment, and you know that they have compounds that are shared spaces. It's not entirely a compound that belongs to one person. So what is to be done in that case? Because I know for a fact that if you fumigate just the compound against flies, insects, and all sorts, it doesn't really end there. because it's an open space. So once the effect of the chemical has lessened, the flies and everything can still come back. So in that situation, what is best to be done? Take, for instance, you have a job like that.
Okay. Are you done? Can I go now? Can I?
Yes, I'm done, sir. Yes, please.
First of all, I need to correct something. You see that word you are using, fumigate. We need to stop using that word because it's not every treatment that you do that you fumigate. So when you say you have a job to fumigate the house, that I use treat, to treat a house, treat for insect, that's the word to use. Fumigate is a different meaning entirely. I thought I need to put that out there. Now,
okay.
Most of us, when we want to do pest control, what our thinking is that we should always go chemical. There's something called exclusion. You understand? So if you are given that kind of assignment now, and you just need to do a particular flat in a block of flats, the first thing you need to do is to do exclusion for that particular place that you've been contracted for. Exclusion means do things to keep those insects out or pests out. That's the first thing you need to do. So if there are holes that the pests have been using as entry as an exit point, you need to seal them. If there are screen doors or window nettings are bad, they need to replace. Holes need to be sealed and all that. So when you do that, you know that you have secluded that particular place you are treating. Then you can then apply whatever you want to apply on the outside. But knowing that whatever you do on the outside is limited because you don't have control of the environment. But having taken care of that particular place you've been briefed for or you've been contracted to do, if you do all the things that are necessary, you would have succeeded to deal with the problem 80 to 90%. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Okay, yes, you have. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you so very much, Prof. Thank you. Engineer Pompey want to ask another question. I'm going to give you the last answer tonight. Pompey. One more question from the house. After Engineer Pompey, one more contribution, then we make announcement and we close, we pray, and we look forward to another section. So, Engineer Pompey, please.
All right, thank you very much. I'll say the last but not the least. Prof, with my own knowledge, most people will have. I know, Mr. AYODEJI too. I think you can still buttress this question. You can still answer more. People believe they can use ULV for sprayer to spray the indoor. They believe it's only meant for disinfection. Can you take us more light on this? My two gurus.
ULV, yeah, is I mean, before we started talking about disinfection, we've been using ULV to do pest control now, to spray, insecticides. That's what they actually made for. Seriously. ULVs were produced for insecticides, not even for disinfection. It's because COVID-19 came around that, people now started using, and they became the best, one of the best equipment to use for disinfection. But majorly, ULV is used for pest control, to spray insecticide, especially indoors, yeah. I don't know if I've answered your question, sir.
Yes, sir.
You want to add to that? Engineer Pompey, are we clear on that?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you.
ULV is full of ULV, like we already said, ULV is actually made for indoors. Majorly, it give you clean results, better results. And smoke fogging machine is actually made for outdoor or a large open area, not inside your 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom apartment. Mm-hmm. Your customer will tell you this is just an additional to the prof lecture. Your customer will say, as you are coming, I hope you are bringing the smoke machine. And like, I'll just tell them I'm bringing fogger. When I say fogger, UAV is also a fogger. It's called cold fogger. Are you getting it? It's also fogger. So because it's fogger, it's called fogger. The other one is thermal fogger. So, but we need to try and enlighten. I know some clients are mind fixated on smoke. Thinking it is until they see smoke, they've not done anything. We have to enlighten them to their own head benefit that you don't have to use smoke in a residential area, except you are dealing with a massive open area or a warehouse or an auditorium that can at least take up the effect of the smoke. But using a smoke in a block of apartments, that may be it may be too. It's not advisable. It's not recommended. Like I always said, risk assessment analysis is key to let us even the prof. Thank you so very much. But please let us do, like, for example, what brought about this training tonight about chemical. Let us look through it, what happened in Ekiti State about the 100 students that were hospitalized because of the chemical, because of a fumigation or disinfection service or so that was done, and there was chemical leakage and things happened. These students were hospitalized. Mm-hmm. And on the Pest Control Forum, I put an instance of what experience we had as a company 4 years ago, thereabout, where a multinational staff, actually 2 of them actually went, they were resuscitated at the hospital at Ikoyi. And you know what that means in terms of Naira Kobo, and in terms of, and because we were dealing with a facility, a joint facility in Lagos or multi-floor building, and somebody is using a section of the building, they just call you, come and treat. And maybe the facility manager did not announce to everybody, because you as a vendor of that particular person, you don't have access to all the vendors in all the stories. You expect that the FM of the business should have announced to everybody, and you'll have said that, but somebody may not just do their due diligence. So it is dangerous. Don't use, in fact, in that case, we even used UAV, and there was an issue. So smoke is not something you should try in an indoor. And I want to use this incident to also tell you some of the risks involved in smoke. There was one of our colleagues in this industry. He had this horrible experience a few years. In fact, he ran to me to come and buy UAV. He had never used UAV before. He had never used UAV before, prior to that time. I don't know if it's on this platform now or this training. He had this contract with some Indian guys that deal with cocoa. They export cocoa overseas. And you know, cocoa being an agricultural product, they need to be fumigated and treated before, maybe with the storage, before they move them to the port and export them. And this is a big client for him, because sometimes when he's working, he can do like 30 containers in a night, 50 containers, because when the cocos are brought into their warehouse in Lagos, they call this guy to come and do treatment of cocoa. I hope my audio is clear. I hope you can hear me. I want us to learn from this experience. When it comes to safety in respect to chemical, I really wish I can get the feedback if somebody is hearing me. Okay.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Thank you. So he went, his boys, unfortunately for him that night, he was not on site with them because it has become a usual work, a usual day-to-day activity they do, and he makes a lot of money from the contract, a lot of money. His boys, they carry fogging machine. They will, after they load the cocoa inside their bags, so you want to, they will fog inside the container. They will fog inside the container, close the container, move to the next container, move to the next container. But they found out that after they moved to the other container, they noticed that there was a particular container that the smoke was different. The smoke from that container was quite different. What is happening? So they've like, other container smoke has down. Why is there still smoke in this particular container? Unknowing to them that why the operator, the technician lifted the fogging machine to fog the cocoa, you know, there's always this paper that they attach with container, like, you know, container now, they always attach this label paper. The silencer, the fire from the exhaust of the fogger has caught one of those paper, and those paper has been ignited, and it has caught the bag of cocoa, and cocoa is now on fire. And they did not know, they just fog, and because there is smoke in the fog, you may not know maybe it's fire or not, they've left. Before they opened the container and began a rescue operation, over 33 million naira worth of cocoa has been burnt from a container. Before despite the fact that, thank God, they did not leave. They did not leave. They were still in the premises, but at the value of what was burnt that night alone was valued at over 30-something million naira. That was real crisis. Real crisis. And so I encourage you, when you are using any machine, check your environment. It's not just about fogging machine. The risk may be too high for the work you are getting. And as a professional in this industry, you need to have insurance for your business.
Yeah.
You need to have insurance. The guy ran up to me, he came to meet me in my house, and I only want for UAV machine in stock that I had to give it to him because it was perplexed. And thank God that the Indian guys, they love him so much and they had insurance in place. Imagine insurance company paying something million. That is huge. So this business is not just for everybody else say, I want to be a fumigator. You may just be entering into trouble. It is for professionals, because you may be making 30,000, 50,000, and you are happy that, oh, I'm making money. This job is I just buy chemical 5,000, I make 50,000. The day that trouble may loom, you may be looking for 5 million or 550 million if you are not following the due process as you have been told. And that is why we can never overemphasize the importance of training, retraining. You can't say, like what we are hearing from the prof today, is it the first time I'm hearing it? I studied industrial chemistry, I learned some of these things.
We lost you there, DFORTUNE.
Okay, I was tapped out, right?
Yeah.
I hope I'm back. Thank you.
So
I encourage us as professionals, any tool that will help us, sir? So any tool that will help our work, that will help us get better, engage in it. Everything is not about money. A lot of you, you want to use, you want to they will carry phosphocin in your pocket, go and be messing with rats to create rat poison. Don't let phosphocin show you his red side. Yeah? Phosphocin, don't let it show you his other side. These chemicals are made for certain purposes. In fact, there was a time that NAFDAC banished phosphocin from being sold across the counter about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But now they liberalize it again. So not every chemical you see people selling chemical, they will begin to tell you, this, miss it like this. Don't join the bandwagons. Be a professional. It's a professional industry. And as a professional, seek to get a license. Get your license for Elrecon. Seek to become a member of Pest Control Association of Nigeria. Seek. One of the reasons why we set up Pest Control Forum is to help a lot of, because we realize that the quackery is becoming the order of the day in the business. Quackery. And I felt, how else do we support? How else do we help? How else do we encourage a lot of people? We can't help everybody, but the few that should show interest, we are going to do our best to see how we can all tag along and get better together. Don't let us bastardize this industry. Let us show professionalism at every count of the way. In your branding, in your service provision, in your presentation, in your application of chemicals, in your knowledge. In your knowledge, let us show professionalism so that they will know that we are different from the lots. We are different from the lots. The industry as it stands today, it is already being bastardized, erroneously bastardized by a lot of bandwagon of people on the street carrying this and that everywhere. And this is not the industry we want to build. We want to build an industry that will value professionalism, that will value ethics, that values life, that values safety. This is what we are looking at. And I encourage you as professional colleagues to put professionalism at the core front of your business. Everything is not about money. If you don't have insurance for your business, get insurance, protect your client, protect your asset. You may be thinking you are making a lot of money now. God forbid any hazard. Protect your staff. Let your staff wear appropriate PPEs. Don't just eat up all the monies. Invest in it. If you know this business is not what you can cope with, let it go. Go for another business. Because it shouldn't be for everybody. It shouldn't be for everybody. Don't just see fumigation, they make money, I can kill cockroach. It's not just about, there are some cockroach that will mess you up. And that is why we have that pest control forum. And I encourage, if you are not on that forum, join so that we share freely every day. We share ideas, we share knowledge. And with that, I want to say special thanks to our facilitator tonight, the prof. Thank you for the insights, for the termite insight. You know, one of the problems that we face in Nigeria today is termite. But many of us as professionals, you are just focused on rat and cockroach. You are not looking at the wealth of money that's in termite business. Because many of you don't know. But I thank God that the prof started from termites. That is actually where it started from 1995, where he made a lot of money from. Termite is the place, is an area that we have not even begun to scratch the surface. And this is a major trouble that is facing many homes. Every building that needed to be constructed, the soil is supposed to be treated before the structure is erected. That is the standard. Because Nigerian soil is an iron-rich soil. Termites love to dwell in iron-rich soils. And we are susceptible to termite infestation. There is problem. They have to take advantage of it. As professionals, look at termites. Because the more you are looking at cockroach, the market is getting over full already. Right. Look at other areas that can, in fact, you can specialize. In America, a lot of companies are just specialized. Some of them are just doing only termites alone. Huge. You can specialize. You don't have to do everything. You can specialize in IPM. You can specialize in only controlling of bees. You can be a snake controller. In fact, in America, some companies are just for rattlesnake only. Some are for cobra remover only. And they are still big. So you can actually specialize. And that will differentiate you from the lot. Then we can all grow together, become mighty together in the industry, and we can build a brand that our generations to come will see and be happy with us. That will be something that will make our nation and a better place. So, due diligence to the class tonight. We are so grateful. We are going to try to provide the record of this training on the Pest Control Forum only. Members only, we have access to it. So if you are not a member of Pest Control Forum, send a chat to the admin. I'll posted the link to join on the chat room. Click on that link, join the Pest Control Forum. You will love it. And I'm also using it to announce on Friday, there's a software application that we are working with SB Fumigation and EVA of India about technical. These are things, it's not that we have anything to gain from it, but I believe these are tools that will help the industry. And that's why I'm giving SB the platform to be able to project this tool to every boat professional, that we can actually have these applications on our phone and help us in our activities. I encourage you, join the live stream. The link will be on Pest Control Forum. Pest Control Forum is a robust platform for professionals. There are professors on that platform, professors of Ahmadu Bello University, professors of entomologists. They may not talk, they are there on Pest Solution Forum, Pest Control Forum. There are PhD holders on that forum. They are just looking at you, they are not talking. There are product manufacturers on that forum, they are reading. So don't take that forum for granted. Don't post any jargons there. Make sure what you are putting there is something that will be of value to us as professionals. And lastly tonight, I want to appreciate everybody. When you look at the banner for this program, we said the sponsor of this program is DFORTUNE Flucomafin and Fumiset. And I want to appreciate all your patronage and support for the DFORTUNE brand. We're going to do our best. And thank you for being many of you buy Flucomafin, the DFORTUNE Flucomafin, the 10 kilogram bucket, the 1 kilogram, the 20, and the review has been amazing. The review has been amazing. NAFDAC approved Rodenticide. The first time Flucomafin active will enter into African market in a commercial quantity. Support us too. We encourage supporters. And like Engineer Pompey said, I'm in Kaduna, I'm using this product, but there's no marketers. We want you to join us. You can make tons of money from this product. Help us to project this product. Market this product. For example, the 20 gram pack, we sell the retail price of 5,000 naira. If you are buying in the carton price, you can go for as low as 3,800, 3,500, and you can make a lot of money from it just by supporting us and helping us to project the brand. So I want us to help us to project the DFORTUNE Flucomafin and Rodenticide to every state, every city, so that it will be available everywhere. This product is extremely effective, and it kills all. In fact, all those big rodents, those rabbits, I've killed many of them with Flucomafin. So many of them. Those big ones that literally would not eat any other baits. You know those ones that they call witchcraft rat, rodent. Those big ones that have white tail. It has killed many of them. It doesn't spare them. They start seeing them all over the places, and they mostly die without being noticed. So I encourage you, send us a chat, call our admin, and patronize us, buy the product. You don't need to be using zinc phosphide in this world again. These things are too dangerous. aluminum phosphide to mix fish. You are going to a client house, you are carrying fish and powder. At your level of professionalism, those things, those characters should stop, brothers and sisters. Those characters should stop. How will your customer treat you, respect you? When you go to a place, you mix Titus. You mix Titus and powder together and you are putting on the floor. How will they respect your brand? Level of rodent of rat control has moved beyond mixing fish and gala and powder together to control rats. You know, go for, now I'm shouting, support my own brand too. Go for Flocomafin. You will love it, no doubt about it. In fact, the 20 gram that value about just 200 naira only, 250 naira only, we effectively take care of rats in a whole apartment. That means it's affordable. The 1 kilogram can clear rats in more than 10 duplexes. And that's just for 7,500. Wholesale price, we are buying in dozens, 6,500. And that can control rats effectively from more than 10 duplex units. That means on an average duplex, you are spending less than 800 naira. If you are mixing your fish and your Titus and your powder, you will spend more than that. And you are still doing non-professional work using acute rodenticide. So I encourage you, give us a call, be a partner, call for the product, be a reseller, help us distribute it, talk to somebody about this product, and we appreciate you. And thank you for President Fumi said. Fumi says available in 20 liters, in 10 liters, and Coronas and Clovidos, and all our machines and everything. After this, we're going to bring other trainings and trainings and trainings and trainings. We rest assured that we have a lot loaded for all our improvement, and we keep getting better together. And I want to especially thank Madam Bukishole Bogzapa for always giving us ginger on Servicepreneur on the platform, for always putting fire in us. If you are not on the Pest Control Forum, you must be missing something, because there are people there willing to help willingly, contributing every day, giving us, and we learn from the best. We learn from, and if you have a colleague, a professional colleague in this industry that's not on that platform, you can ask them to join. It's just for us to send them the link. I will post the invite link on the WhatsApp group so they can share. People can just click on it and join the group, only for practitioners, and not just anybody that is still trying to say, I want. It's only practicing. We want to know that we are dealing with professionals so that they will understand. Thank you once again. It's a beautiful evening here. And once again, thank you to our very own Prof. Prof, last.
Come again, I didn't get that.
Last comment from you before. Thank you, Prof.
Okay.
Can you take up the floor briefly?
I wanted to give us
before
a
we
gem
wrap up tonight. Prof, sir.
Yeah, I wanted to give us a gem, something that I invented back then, 95, 96, that used to work for me for termite treatment. And it's something that I developed and that's been working, and I just want us to go with the knowledge. Now, something I used to do then, I used to create bait base stations for termites those days, subterranean termites. What do I do? I get some of the woods that they have eaten up, the remnants that are still strong. I soak them in imidacloprid, then dig around the building, especially for floorings that are not cemented, plant these things that have soaked in imidacloprid around that place. And it worked perfectly for me then. It's still working. I just thought I should drop that gem for us so that we can be using it too when we are out there treating subterranean termites. Thank you, DFORTUNE, for this wonderful opportunity. I'm sure there will be more like this in future. And I want to add that I run a masterclass too for professionals that are interested, on Telegram. Thank you all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you so very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I've put the link for the WhatsApp group on the chat room. You can click on it and join the WhatsApp group straight from there. I've also put my phone number on the WhatsApp. You want to be a distributor, take this product to Kano, to Ibadan, to everywhere. And it's a new product that is still very fresh that, man, you can, and you like the packaging, very safely packaged, no spillage, no spillage. Expiry date is 3 years, so it's very durable. DFORTUNE machine. Thank you everyone for the honor that we saw the invited for this trip that you showed up. We showed up and we've learned a lot. So please, the conversation, you can follow me on Instagram, _Pest-Control, DFORTUNE _Pest-Control on Instagram. You can follow me there. You can follow us there. Bug Zapper is there at Bug Zappers or Servicepreneur. The prof is there. The PestControlProf. You know, a lot of us are there. Follow, and let us learn from each other. Let's encourage one another. I call your colleagues to join. I want us to open our video at this time so that we can on your video. Everyone, let us see our video. Let's just say, let's see our video. Our video is on. So can I see your video? So as we close tonight, you can just, I know it's night, a lot of you don't want us to see your face. We want to see your face. So just on your video and say hi as we close right away. Okay. Okay. Thank you everyone once again. Can we pray as we close? Can we pray now? Can we pray? I want us to pray. Father, we thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Lord.
This knowledge. Thank you for our facilitator tonight. We pray that you keep strengthening, blessing, giving his knowledge and his capacity, that our business and brand going to go forward and upward. No accident on our side, no accident on our operations, in the name of Jesus. In influence and in reach, in the name of Jesus. Thank you, Father. We love you, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. I love you all. See you again. The conversation continue on the WhatsApp group. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Bless you.
Good evening.
I'm putting my Instagram and do.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you everyone for this wonderful platform.
I'm putting my Instagram and do on the chat room. For
Thank you.
So
we appreciate